Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be making a Pulley card. It's a vintage Valentine Pulley card that is inspired by Anna Griffin card making kit. I just added some pretty embellishments and a bow to top it off. I think that it came out really well and can't wait for you guys to get started and make one with me. So let's go. We're going to start with a piece of 12 by 6 cardstock that we're going to cut down to 1 1/4 inch strips. We're going to have 3 of them. That's what we're going to need to make this card. I'm going to recommend a very sturdy cardstock, something that's at least 250 to 300 GSM, because this is going to be supporting a lot of weight, a lot of embellishments, and a lot of opening and closing of the mechanism. All right, this is where we're going to take our 3 strips of paper over to our scoring board and make our score marks. I'm going to put the measurements for the score marks over here on the sidebar. I messed mine up, so I didn't want to have you guys using the one that I messed up. And since I just fixed it with what I had, I didn't make a whole nother video portion to record that. So yeah, just follow the measurements that you see over here on the side of the video. All right, so we've made our score lines, and now we have our 3 strips of paper that are scored. And we're gonna fold on those score lines, and then we're just gonna cut the paper at the end of our last score line and then glue it down. I was having a hard time trying to figure out how to explain this to you guys, so I hope you understand what I'm saying and that you are able to follow through with the directions. And once you're done, this is what your shape should look like. This is the one that I messed up, so I edited out the messed up part. And so I'm just going to be folding in the shape and making it into the rectangle and gluing it together. And yours will come out just like this because I put the right measurements in there instead of the messed up ones. Perfect. Now we have our shape. We can move on to the last strip of paper. And this one has the 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 6 inch, 11 inch, and an 11.5 inch markings. So just as before, we're going to fold on all of those score lines and create the pulley part that's going to go inside of the back of our card, that's going to move all of the pieces that we need on our card. So this is the main mechanism. So once we're done with this, we're going to glue it all together and begin to assemble our card. Okay, so I'm going to take my smallest piece and, whoops, there it goes. And I'm going to add some glue to one side of that square piece. And I'm going to attach it to my larger rectangle piece. The most important thing is to make sure that these 2 pieces are level with each other. Right now, I'm going to just hold it for a little bit, make sure that the glue is adhering and that it's not going to fall apart. And then I'm going to take my last piece that we have over here, and I'm going to add some glue to the bottom of one of those flaps. It doesn't matter which one, just pick one. Add some glue to the bottom and adhere this piece to that part of there. and hold it just for a little bit also, once again, to make sure that it's staying on there and that it's not going to come off. We really want it to be secure. We don't want any of our mechanism to fall apart. Once we've done that, take your glue and glue the large part of the rectangle shape, and then the long flap, attach it to each other. Hold it down, make sure that it's going to stay put, and this is what you should have in the end. If you've done everything correctly and we did all of our measurements correctly, we should have our pulley mechanism. Yay! Now that we have our structure, if you have a portrait fold card base like I do, this will make it very easy. Notice that this is double-sided, so the pattern is on both sides of the card. This is important to the finish of our card. So the pink part of this card is actually going to be the inside of the card. And we want to open it lengthwise, then take a ruler, measure from the fold line in 2.5 inches. Now take your craft knife and cut down that 2.5 inch line. Fold your card nice and flat, grab your burnisher, and burnish your score lines. We want nice and crisp score lines. Now, this is what you should have. Flip the card over, measure in lengthwise 4 inches and 4.5 inches, and draw a 1.5 inch line across. It should look like this. Now we want to take our ruler again and our craft knife, and we're going to cut out these notches. Now take your pencil eraser and erase those lines. This is the back of your card, so you really want to make sure that there's no pencil lines showing. I just love Anna Griffin dies, and this is the 3D decorative layer die that comes in a set of 3. I cut it out of gold mirror card. Look at it shining. It is so beautiful. It cuts like butter through my Empress machine, and this is what I want to use to place on the inside of the card. There's so much detail in this die, and it's perfect for the back of this card. Now I'm just going to glue it down with my art glitter glue to the back of the card. Because I do need to bring my pulley system through the back of that card, and even though I already cut these, I need to recut them because the die is now interfering with me pulling my mechanism through. So I'm just reinforcing those cut lines and cutting through that die. Now I'm going to pull the long flap through the front of the card, then flip it over and insert it again through the second slot of through the back of the card, and pull it down all the way till it reaches the score line. What's important to note here is there are two score lines on our pulley mechanism that one of them I guess I didn't actually need. So just go ahead and glue that down score line to score line. So where the score on the card is and the second score line of the flap is, go ahead and just glue those together. And then on the base of the main stair step, go ahead and just put some glue on that and stick it down. This is what it should look like in the end. To decorate my card, I want to use the Crafter's Companion Nested Heart Dies. This is a great set. It comes with scalloped hearts, torn edge hearts, and it also comes with stitch edged hearts. It was a great set. I did get it off of HSN, and since I'm making a Valentine card, I thought that these would be perfect. So I'm going to be using the scallop edge dies, and I'm going to be using a couple different sizes, but the first one that I'm going to use is the second size in. So I finished cutting out all my hearts. I grabbed some other things that I want to use to put this card together. I have my foam pads and my glue, and let's go ahead and get started. So now all we need to do is put on our signature card so that you have a place to say something nice to the recipient of your card. This one is a sticker, so I'm just pulling the back off of it, and I'm just going to put it on the bottom flap of the card, which is what they're going to see when they first open up the envelope. That finishes it off really nicely. And then you can sign whatever you like. And then it opens and it stands on its own. And then when you close it, that's how it goes into the envelope. This is what the finished product should look like. Now the back looks not so finished. I grabbed a medallion I cut out of a die, and I want to put this over that part where I cut, just so it gives it a more polished, finished look to the card. I love how that looks. It goes really nice with the pattern on the back of the card. That's our card. It fits nicely in an envelope. And closes. So don't put too much on there. You don't want it to be too bulky and where it won't fit in the envelope. But it fits perfectly in the envelope and it comes out to surprise your recipient. Just like that. Thanks for watching my video. Have a great day.